Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the podcast where the mega powers collide. This is Lost in the Midcard, episode 15. I am your host, Jeremy Bennett. You can find me on Twitter at JBHuskers, and you can find the show on Facebook.com/LostInTheMidcard. There you'll find our links to iTunes, and thank you to SpiderDuck.net for hosting us on iTunes. And then also you can subscribe to us on YouTube as well. The links are right there for you. Subscribe and share with your friends. And as always, my co-host is the man who just got back from Baltimore, Maryland, Matt Black. Matt, how are you doing today?
Good, man, because, you know, when push comes to shove, last month I was Mr. Extreme Rules. And once again, I am Mr. Payback.
God, you went undefeated, huh?
I went undefeated again.
Where do you get your damn scripts from?
Oh, man, I'm on fire right now. Trevor, do you like being wrong? I just have to ask you, buddy. Do you like being wrong?
That shot just got fired. So this is our first pay-per-view in our new format, as we are coming to you every Thursday with our normal show where we break down all the goings-on in wrestling, the top stories, the shows, and all of that fun stuff. And every Monday after the pay-per-view, we come to you with our pay-per-view review and a couple little bonus tidbits that we will throw your way as well. Probably a top 5 every month, or in this case, twice a month, because we got Elimination Chamber coming up on May 31st, and that means our show on June 1st we'll be talking about that. So just in 2 short weeks, we will come to you with another little bonus episode after some. What'll probably be some interesting things there in the chamber, and we'll probably break that down a little more on Thursday's episode 16. Matt, without going into too much detail, just some generalities. What did you think of the show? How was the crowd? How did everything look out there in Baltimore tonight?
Crowd was hot all night. There were New Day Sucks chants as we were standing outside of the arena waiting to get in. Those guys are freaking over right now, man. Normally you hear like the Woo chants and Let's Go Cena, Cena Sucks. The main chant throughout the arena from outside to get in till before the show started was that New Day Sucks chant. It was, I was like, holy shit, these guys are really over right now.
If anybody watched the pre-show tonight, that happened at least 2 or 3 times throughout the night where the New Day Sucks chants were emanating. And then one time a New Day Sucks chant turned into a Woo chant, so that was pretty good. Yeah, definitely. Crowd seemed pretty damn hot.
I was hoping it came across good on television.
Yeah, for the most part.
Killing it tonight, I thought.
Yeah, I was a little surprised at the main event where I think Orton got the 3rd loudest pop. I think Ambrose was 1 and Rollins was 2.
I would say the entrances and the reaction on the Trons throughout the night, Dean was definitely the most over of the 4, but the RKO chant near the end of the main event might have been the loudest chant of the evening. It was really freaking loud.
When Ambrose and Reigns were laid out and Orton was standing outside the ring. When Orton
was getting back in the ring and Rollins, and they started chanting RKO, the crowd was loud.
Well, let's dig into the Payback pay-per-view. 2 matches on the kickoff show. One added last minute there, basically just to kind of warm up the crowd. A little bit of a mini feud that we've had here lately. Stardust against R-Truth.
That was out of nowhere, wasn't it?
Yeah, and not a bad little match. They were given about 7 minutes, and a little good back and forth. Kind of funny. I liked when Stardust took off the glove and slapped him with it. That was kind of funny. That prompted a funny little dual comment by JBL there. But in the end, R-Truth hit the lie detector after a 7-minute match for the win there. Something obviously you didn't see, Matt, or hear, was kind of the way the commentators brought it about. It sounds like we are getting Cody very soon.
Really?
Yeah, and they made it suggest that it might be coming.
Wow, you're kind of hurting my top 5 character reboots right now, JB.
Uh-oh. One might get a reboot here. How about that? And how about this? I guess there must not be that much heat with Austin in the WWE, because we are going to get on the June 1st, after the episode of Raw on June 1st, the Stone Cold podcast returns with Paul Heyman. And if you've ever heard Heyman and Austin together on Steve Austin's podcast, you know these two are going to bring it. It's going to be a lot of fun. These guys are always they rode up and down the roads with each other in WCW, if I remember correctly, and these guys have a lot of stories to tell, and they shoot straight from the hip. It's going to be a lot of fun, don't you think, Matt?
No, I was super thrilled to see that back.
Did they kind of pop that out there on the Tron during the pre-show?
They actually I don't think it was during the pre-show. I think it was in the middle of the pay-per-view. I think they aired it.
Oh.
I think they aired it right after the I Quit match.
Oh,
they were doing a whole bunch of stuff to try to as the ring crew was in there fixing the top rope.
Top rope.
They were doing a lot of stuff to like keep the crowd involved and whatnot. So for some reason I think it was like right after that they put that up on the Tron and announced it. But I was just like, thank God, because I'm sorry. I'm no offense to Jericho, but Austin's podcasts are where it's at. Dude, after seeing this one, I didn't really go out of my way to care enough to watch the Stephanie one.
I haven't watched it yet. Eventually I'll hop on.
I read like a little recap of it, and nothing about it screamed to me like I need to go watch this right now. Yeah. So I just
where Austin, you making a point to either watch it.
I have watched every single one of Austin's live.
Yeah, I don't watch them typically live, because a lot of times I don't watch Raw live, but yeah, I sit there and kind of wait for them to put it back or put it on the on demand there, because by about 11:30 Central they'll put it on there on demand. So definitely will be a fun thing, because we haven't seen Heyman on TV for a while either. So
that's gonna be great.
And what is let's embarrass Tom Phillips, I guess. We'll put a heel with him on the social media lounge, and we'll make fun of that heel through dumb Twitter questions.
We didn't see that in the live crowd. You gotta tell me about that.
Yeah, nothing too out of the ordinary. Just questions to insult Sheamus. Sheamus gets mad at Tom Phillips. Stuff kind of like what Kane, but Sheamus actually stuck around for it.
He's a glutton for punishment.
The announced tag team match for the pre-show is next with the Mega Power. Now, this was weird. On SmackDown, they called them the Meta Powers, and tonight they called them the Mega Powers.
I guess I don't think they've really made up their mind about what they want to call them yet.
This team isn't going to last too long anyways, I don't think.
Don't say that. The finish broke my heart. I was just like...
Yeah.
The Ascension's already dead in the water. Why are you giving them wins?
So you weren't Mr. Payback because you missed this match.
That's pre-show. That doesn't count.
It counts.
That's pre-show. That doesn't count. 8 to 11. 8 to 11. Payback. No. The pay-per-view itself.
No.
Perfect.
We've always counted pre-show matches in our record.
Not last month we didn't.
Well, that wasn't announced yet. This was an announced match.
I don't care. I don't know what you're talking about. All I know
God, you're worse than Seth Rollins when it comes to this.
All I know is from 8 to 11, Mr. Payback was live, and it was beautiful.
You still got a and one record for your record this week. So the Ascension win with the Fall of Man.
And one, buddy.
Shit. The Ascension win after a 4-minute match. Kind of a surprise. Figured that comedy team that just kind of got put together. Obviously, the Ascension are probably going to be in the Elimination Chamber match, and now I guess maybe Sandow and Axel may not be. I don't know.
I think they both will be in. I think this. Unfortunately, I think the Ascension and Mega Powers feud is far from over.
We'll have to see about that. It'll be interesting to see. Well, we kick off the main show here with Sheamus and Dolph Ziggler, and boy, these guys definitely lit the house on fire to start off, which is a good thing because obviously this is a heated feud. So to start off as fast and furious as they did was definitely the right call, and this match went for a nice 14 minutes, and back and forth, and it was really entertaining, and in the end, obviously, Ziggler hit his headbutt and busted himself open pretty damn good, too, by the way.
Yeah, I saw the stitches shot when I got home over his eye. He's got a lot of stitches right above his eye, man. It's pretty gruesome stuff.
He had the Ric Flair blonde hair after that match because it was bleeding like a stuck pig, to quote JR. Brogue kick, obviously Ziggler kind of selling the headbutt and a little bit of and then the brogue kick while Ziggler was still on his knees. Sheamus hit that brogue kick, but what'd you think of that opening match there, Matt?
I thought it was a great way to start the show. I mean, we were all correct in that Sheamus wasn't losing 2 months in a row.
Mm-hmm. Was it a big pop for the old arse kissing?
No, there was not. There was not a big pop for that. Most people were just like, whatever.
I wonder if WWE piped that in then, because it sounded like it was a fairly decent pop on that. So.
Really?
Yeah, it sounded like it was. I wasn't saying it was the pop of the night, but it sounded like it was a decent pop for it.
Yeah, I don't really remember there being that big of a reaction to that. Maybe I'm wrong. I was definitely rolling my eyes. So I don't know. Maybe I tuned, but I didn't think it was pop worthy.
Yeah. So yeah, apparently a little bit of stitching up for Ziggler. We'll see. He'll probably talk about it here on Monday Night Raw. This is something you may not have seen, but hey, look, we have a commercial for NXT Takeover on Wednesday. How about that?
They actually did air that. Got a nice pop from the crowd, which I was appreciative of, and I was just like, that's right. You give NXT its props, damn it.
Yeah, exactly. That'll be a fun one, and at the end of our show tonight, we will do our little breakdown, make a little prediction, see what our thoughts are leading into that show on Wednesday night. 2 out of 3 tag team, 2 out of 3 falls match between the New Day and Cesaro and Kid. We're going to have Kofi Kingston and Big E from the New Day with representing the team there. Cesaro and Kid, they do the old swing drop kick in just a few minutes into the match to get the first pinfall. And I don't know if you could hear this from where you were, but Xavier Woods jumps up on the apron and yells "Freebird roll."
No, I did not. He was going off at some points at ringside, and his motions and his mouth running was so hilarious. I was just thinking to myself, "Damn it! Would somebody give him a megaphone?" Because I wanted to hear what he was. I wanted to hear what he was ranting about because it was just hysterical to watch him like lose his shit at ringside. I thought it was fantastic.
I think it was Kyoto that worked that match, and Kyoto goes, nope, sent because he was trying to invoke the Freebird roll and take over for probably for Kingston because he's the one that took the swing and the drop kick. So he tried to insert himself into the match, and that was why he was up on the ropes and up on the apron and yelling at the ref at the start of the second fall. At the 8-minute mark, a New Day ties it back up where we get the old big ending there from the little duo, Kingston jumping off the top rope and Big E. They land the big ending right there on Tyson Kidd. Kofi kind of was a little sloppy. The match itself, I don't know if you caught that live or not, but the match itself was a little bit sloppy.
I honestly, the only things I thought were sloppy were the first and second pinfall. Tyson did not connect on the drop kick.
No.
On the little Cesaro swing drop kick finish, and Big E hit the ground before Kofi was able to come down and connect with the connect to the finisher on the second fall. That was blatantly obvious on both falls live. But other than that, I thought the match delivered, and a lot of people in the arena walking out were calling that match of the night. So
yeah, it was a good match. It was a little sloppy, I think, and a little sloppy, and probably needed to go a little longer for it to be, I would say, match of the night. But
I think they were rushed for a 2 out of 3 fall match. I think they were rushed, and I truly think they needed more time.
And that the WWE likes to do that too, which is kind of ridiculous. But for the final fall, we got a little interesting thing there where Xavier Woods sneaks into the ring and rolls up Cesaro for the 1-2-3, and the referee did not notice that it was not Kofi Kingston making that move. Very innovative finish. I loved it too. You know,
it was brilliant because he quickly took off the jacket, went in there with the roll up, which totally covered up his face, and then as soon as he got out of the ring, he put the jacket back on.
Yeah, and all the ref could see
was brilliant. I loved it. I thought it was really well done.
Yeah, and all the ref could see was Cesaro's shoulders on the mat getting pinned. So that was a real good thing. But my only problem with it was a little sloppy, and for a 2 out of 3 falls match, for the match to only be 3 minutes longer than last month, I wish it would have been a little longer. But we can expect both of these teams in that Elimination Chamber match. And,
was it really only 3 minutes longer than last month's match?
Yep, 13 minutes.
I didn't time anything, but damn. See, that's true. When it's 2 out of 3 falls and you're only 3 minutes longer than you were last month, that says you didn't give these guys enough time to shine.
No.
And they totally should have. Mm-hmm. Because they deserve it. And there was plenty of other stuff that they could have chipped away at this show on and given these guys some more time.
Next up is Bray Wyatt against Ryback. Obviously, a kind of a thrown together feud that we both have agreed on that doesn't make much sense. But
yeah,
a pretty cool video package though to kind of put the match together. That wasn't too bad. I thought this match. I think it delivered. I think it overachieved. I think it was better than I thought it would be, especially the last couple minutes. It was some great near falls and that. I think it overachieved. How did it look on your end live there, Matt?
I really enjoyed the match. My only complaint was I didn't get the finish I wanted because I wanted a Wyatt family reunion.
Yep.
And we didn't get that. But I mean, I knew Bray had to win. I was just like, he could not afford to have another loss right now.
No. One amazing move from that match is Wyatt doing the senton off the apron onto the floor on the outside onto Ryback. And I don't know if you've heard this yet, Matt, or not, but word is Ryback may have legitimately broken a rib due to that senton.
See, I thought he did.
Mm-hmm. They're saying they're thinking he did. PW Insider reported that they do believe Ryback legitimately broke a rib there. So. And they used the
right now
in the turnbuckle. Ryback in the corner there. Wyatt climbs the turnbuckle with Ryback in front of him, undoes the padding of the turnbuckle, and once Ryback had pushed Wyatt off and tried to charge at him, Wyatt threw him into that corner where his ribs were exposed and walked right into Sister Abigail for the win there. Like I said, a good match between the two, which, a good solid 10-minute match. You don't see Ryback in too many 10-minute matches. You don't see Wyatt wrestle that much, as he's kind of billed more as a special attraction. So, like I said, the feud didn't make much sense, but in the end, I thought it was a solid match.
Yeah, match was good. I mean, as far as the work goes, there was nothing to complain about. I mean, it certainly sucks that that Ryback might be injured coming out of this. But, I mean, I thought, he just was doing an amazing selling job. Because, legit, when I was watching, because when they're on the outside, I'd look over at the Tron. And I was watching him after that spot. I'm like, oh, my God, dude, he looks like he can't breathe. Mm-hmm. He might have freaking cracked his damn ribs or something. But, he got up at the typical count of 9. And, got into the ring and finished the match. So I thought, he was just selling it. But it does not surprise me that there could be a potential injury there. Just not surprising at all.
A little bit of time off for Ryback may be something. Hopefully it's not a serious injury, but a little time off for Ryback may not be bad to kind of maybe give him a reboot, because he's definitely lost a lot of steam since his return right around Survivor Series.
I don't think Ryback needs a reboot. I mean,
no, I'm not saying a big reboot. I'm just saying a little time off and then maybe a solid, meaningful feud.
Okay, he's definitely not. He's not in my top 5, son.
Well, I'm not talking about a reboot in terms of character. I'm just talking about a reboot in terms of momentum, because he's definitely lost a lot of it lately.
Well, I mean, you put two guys against each other that were both very much losing momentum. Somebody had to get some back, and somebody just had to eat it. And the right guy got the momentum back, and they can look. You want to put momentum back on Ryback? Put him in the Intercontinental Title Elimination Chamber. And boom, he's got momentum right back. So I'm not super worried about. I'm not super worried about. He did that crazy splash off the top rope.
Yeah, that was pretty sick. I like that.
Wasn't that after he crushed his ribs too?
I think it was. It was tail end of the match.
Dude's a machine, man.
Let's take a quick break from Payback, and we'll get to the rest of the show here in just a minute. We're going to cover a couple other things real quick. Just almost a couple of weeks ago, the ESPN documentary Behind the Curtain, the E60 special, aired on ESPN, and what I thought was a phenomenal show. Matt, did you agree with that?
Oh, E60 was absolutely perfect television, and it shows how good ESPN would be at booking professional wrestling.
Yeah.
Because they took 2 years of these three guys' careers and made beautiful, compelling television that, unfortunately for WWE, you just don't see very often anymore. And I mean,
now, did WWE have much say on this? Or
I'm hearing WWE absolutely had no say in the way that the documentary was handled, cut, and shown. I heard the first time most WWE people saw the special for the first time was like a week before it aired on ESPN. They did like a media view up in New York City, and that was the first time a lot of people from WWE corporate actually saw the special for the first time.
And the special focused on 3 superstars that were originally in NXT: Adam Rose, Xavier Woods, and Corey Graves. First off, I think, like you were saying, with Adam Rose, after you watch this, you're going to have a whole new respect for him, and that was true. Obviously, he struggled, trying to get his Leo Kruger persona over in NXT. He had been toiling with that for at least 3 years, and then you get to see his home life, and you see that he's got a wife and a son that had an abdominal defect at 17 weeks. They found out, so he has to get fed through a tube that sticks out of the side of his belly there, and they said he may not make it, but he's so far he's already outlived his prognosis at age 3. And so now you get a big perspective of what Adam Rose is fighting for. And when I thought the most compelling moment on Adam Rose's story there was the first time he came out as Adam Rose, and the NXT universe went nuts. And immediately that was the sell right there.
Yeah, it was a special moment, and it was special when it first happened. Just for a normal NXT viewer, to see him be able to cross over from the characters without a backlash from the crowd, I thought it was special then. But to see it behind a 2-year journey eyes that this special was able to give it to you, it was even more special than could have possibly imagined.
Yeah, that was a really cool thing to see, and I was a little baffled. I thought they could have capitalized on that by bringing Rose out on Raw on Monday, but they chose not to do so.
No, and they had like a 2-minute segment with him on SmackDown.
Yep.
And that was just, trust me, I've got plenty to say about Adam Rose going forward.
We take a good look at Xavier Woods, too. He's definitely an eccentric, cool guy. And he likes Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. He likes Pogs. He has a Skip-It in his backpack. How about that? He has a horse mask he likes to run around in. But the interesting thing about him is he could be the first professional wrestler with a PhD, which is pretty damn cool. I wonder how tight Vince's butt cheeks were clenched when they showed his TNA promo photo of Consequences Creed.
I don't know. They didn't acknowledge TNA or speak of the company, so I don't really think it was that big of a deal.
I thought it was just kind of funny. But, Xavier Woods, basically, in Triple H's words, like, this guy could be the real deal, and, like, if he was a few inches taller, we could probably be talking about main events and championships with him, but, Vince, he doesn't like those short people.
Yeah.
But very interesting to see him, his life, and watch him in his downtime kind of prepare for getting his PhD, which no doubt he'll get. I think he said he's shooting for sometime next year to finish that, if I remember right.
I think they said sometime in 2016.
And then we also got the story of Corey Graves, who was a great wrestler in NXT, ended up teaming with and then turning on Adrian Neville. They won the tag team champions at one time, and then once they lost the belts, that's where kind of Graves turned heel. And then, unfortunately, concussions came into play, and Corey's career basically was over. And then they do show that moment where right before the NXT Takeover special, I believe in December, they show the moment where Corey meets with Triple H, and Triple H says he's got a 2-year contract for him to be an announcer, which was a very cool moment to see. And then we also got to see Corey call his wife and let her know that he has got himself a job for at least 2 years. And the way he's been going, he's been doing a hell of a job as an announcer. So I think he's definitely got his future set in the WWE. But Matt, that was a real cool moment to see for a guy that had his career taken from him.
Yeah, it was really cool. The only thing that bugs me, and this is just me, always looking at things from a different angle and perspective, I kind of worry that what would have happened if Corey Graves wouldn't have been a part of this special.
Mm-hmm.
If Corey Graves wasn't one of the people that ESPN chose to follow over the course of the 2 years, do we really know if he would have got this announcing contract, or do you think he would have gotten released due to too many concussions? And I'm super happy that he's there, and I'm glad he's got the announcing gig, and I think he does a really good job at it. But it just, to me, it's like, would you have really given this guy this kind of shot had he not been the people that ESPN was following over the course of the last 2 years? Because how bad would that have made WWE look as a company if it had been like, yeah, you guys, you've had too many concussions, we have to let you go.
Yeah.
And they would have had that on, ESPN would have had that documented and shown that. That would have just been awful PR for the company. But instead they have beautiful PR since they offered the guy a job in an announcing gig. So, I'm not really sure what would have happened if he wouldn't have been chosen for the special. But honestly, I'm glad he did, and I'm glad he's still there, and I'm glad he's got the announcing gig, and I hope he continues to shine and makes a really, cool career out of this going forward. Because we all know that the commentary on the main roster can always use improvement. So at least we've got some guys training their craft down in NXT to bring that to the main roster eventually.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. That's an interesting take on it. I never thought about it that way. But at the same time, it sounds like as soon as he could not wrestle, he was practicing to get to the moment. I mean, because he didn't just jump into the NXT Takeover pre-show with no practice or anything. He was obviously working at it. And Triple H said that in his conversation with him that, he's worked very hard and he proved himself. I mean, if he sucked at it, she would have been let go.
Yeah, no, you're right.
But he excelled at it, and I think he's on the fast track to Raw. I hope, but at least he's on the pre-shows. Yeah, he co-hosts a pre-show there with Saxton for Raw on the network. He's got his own special on the network now with Culture Shock, and does one hell of a job at NXT.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, we're going to do, on our pay-per-view specials for Lost in the Midcard, we're going to do a top 5 every week. My top 5 is interesting because one of them, I wrote this about a week ago, and one of them just kind of got a little reboot, but oh well. We'll just say, hey, he needed one and he's getting one, so we'll just we'll just go with that. But we'll start off with number 5. My number 5 guy is an NXT guy, the only one that I've got on the list, and it's Ty Dillinger. He was recently tagging with Jason Jordan, and then they broke up, and basically nothing has been. We've seen more Ty Dillinger than Jason Jordan lately. I think Dillinger's got the charisma, and he's definitely a good in-ring worker. He just needs to kind of put some stuff together to really start to kind of make a roll. But I think he definitely can be one that can mix it up eventually down the road with guys like Itami, Finn Balor, and Kevin Owens. Those guys. He's got the charisma, the look, and the in-ring ability. I think he just needs to kind of put it all together. Matt, who do you have for your number 5?
My number 5 is also an NXT talent. And he's off TV right now, but I hear he's due back about any time. And to bring him back, I definitely feel like they need to reboot this guy's character, and that's Mojo Rawley. The get hype, stay hype thing, just, it doesn't work.
It's annoying.
It is. I mean, and it's not like the dude's bad in the ring. He's okay in the ring. He's pretty athletic. He's a big dude. He's got the stuff that WWE is looking for, but the get hype, stay hype gimmick, it just doesn't work. And the crowd didn't respond well to it. And I only think I'm not really sure what to reboot him to.
Well,
he's definitely in need of some sort of a reboot when he returns to the main NXT roster.
I got an idea, actually. He's good friends with Rob Gronkowski. Kind of make him that free-spirited party kind of guy. Not Adam Rose, obviously, but kind of more like a Gronk type of, party with the babes type of deal. I mean, he's good friends with Gronk. They could probably bring Gronk in for a spot here and there. I think for
it in order to work, they would have to do a segment or two with Gronk. Mm-hmm. To let people who don't follow the NFL or the New England Patriots in general understand why this makes sense and why this is happening for this character.
Yeah, and then he can cheat by deflating the balls or something like that.
Oh my God.
My number 4 is Zack Ryder. This guy was on fire about 5 years ago with doing things with John Cena and Eve Torres and Kane and the WWE universe was just completely in love with the guy. He had his Long Island little Long Island Iced Z show on YouTube, which got tremendous following. Named himself the Internet Champion. Got himself a gigantic following on Twitter, and the kid's great in the ring. Before that he was an edgehead with Kurt Hawkins, and I think it's time for a reboot, though. I think a different a tone, a different personality for him. If he stays face, I still think do some things like you can still use the woo 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 because that's over with the crowd. But I think his overall persona just needs to change a little bit, kind of make him more of a serious competitor. And Matt, what do you got for number 4?
Number 4, I have Fandango.
Ba-da.
And I don't really think I really need to give much of an explanation about why this guy needs a reboot. I mean, it's not working. The face turn isn't working. We had a whole segment of how many seconds was it going to take the Fandango to lose to Eric Rowan? It's just, the dude's dead in the water right now. He's a really good worker. And I think some kind of reboot, I mean, I think they would be very beneficial and such. I mean, the perfect example, I think of his work a lot along the lines of Derek Bateman when they were both in NXT together.
Mm-hmm.
And Derek Bateman got rebooted into Ethan Carter III in TNA, and look how that's turned out.
Yeah.
You know, so I mean, I think it would probably take Johnny Curtis, aka Fandango, probably a bit longer to in that reboot, but I think he would definitely be you know, benefiting big time from that happening. I think he could use all the help he can get right now.
Yeah, I've been a fan of Fandango's from day one, but it's they just can't commit to anything with him ever since he's had that big win against Jericho at WrestleMania. And you know, I've thought he's always been a solid character. It is kind of a limited character, so yeah, he does need to find a little something different to kind of be on the more serious end of things to make a big push. So definitely in favor of him at least getting something changed to help him get further in the career. I got a tag team at number 3, Los Matadores. These guys have bored me from the beginning. Sure, there's a few chuckle-worthy moments with El Torito, but these guys are Puerto Rican, and there's no bullfighting in Puerto Rico. Hello. Bring them back as the Colones.
Yeah, exactly. I completely agree with you.
Badass gangster-type guys that just beat everybody down, don't take shit from anybody, have themselves maybe a figurehead, you know, maybe an Armada Estrada type of guy. I don't even know if Estrada still in the business.
Last time I heard he was running a restaurant somewhere. I can't even remember what state it was in. So I'm not sure he's still in the business anymore or not.
Los Matadores is just a terrible tag team, boring as fuck. You know, definitely need a reboot. What do you got for number 3, Matt?
I have, I mentioned, I kind of teased on this earlier, but Stardust. Oh my God, the dude needs rebooted bad. It didn't work.
No.
They tried, and you know, A for effort, and it was okay for a while, but it got really stale really quick. And it's not working with Cody at all. And I didn't hear the commentators tonight, like you said, but if they're teasing a return to Cody, that would probably be better for him, and maybe we get a edgier Cody out of it. You know, it just the dude's got talent, man. You know, and he's got the pedigree to be a player in this business. He needs to be given the chance in order to do it.
Mm-hmm. And, you know, he could be like, you know, like with some of these guys that reboot, you know, this could be a stable where he's the leader of these guys and they're just kind of, just bad guys, kind of like the Shield, you know. But, you know, obviously you got to find a different type of niche for them. But, you know, Cody could grab guys like Zack Ryder and Johnny Curtis, you know, and just make them guys, not gimmicks, and kind of just be some solid heels, you know.
Yeah.
My number 2 guy is someone that, you know, I wrote this before it happened, but I got Eric Rowan. Because obviously his face work was not doing jack shit outside of Survivor Series. It was a pretty meaningless face turn.
Yeah.
The crowd couldn't get into it. I liked his theme music, though. He had some good theme music.
I really hope you're kidding.
I thought it was pretty cool.
Oh, I thought it was some of the worst theme music I've ever heard in my life.
I didn't think it was that bad.
Oh man, I don't know. People sound off in the comment section.
But obviously,
but you know, even if you listen to this on iTunes, go to our YouTube page and sound off in the comment section on your thoughts on Eric Rowan's old theme music, as it is old now. I thought it was the worst. So
it's not that bad.
It's pretty bad. It was pretty bad.
But obviously, since then he has rejoined with Luke Harper. We all thought maybe we were going to get a Wyatt family reunion tonight, but that didn't happen. But still, Eric Rowan with Harper. I mean, Harper on his own was good. He held the Intercontinental title, had some great matches with Dean Ambrose. But obviously, if you pair them together, put them in the Elimination Chamber, I think it's going to make it a new dynamic, which would be a lot of fun to watch. Matt, who do you have for your number 2?
The Big Show. Oh,
your favorite.
God. You know what? I don't want to hate The Big Show, but I hate The Big Show. And
I don't.
I find the only way The Big Show might become tolerable is if we reboot him and change his entire direction of his character. And yeah, I think that's what he's in need of more than anything right now. He's had a few weeks off TV since the Extreme Rules match with Roman Reigns.
How so? How would you do it then?
Man, I'm not sure, honestly.
I mean, I always loved the fun-loving face Big Show at this stage of his career. Younger, yeah, a dominant heel, but I think he's a funny guy. Yeah, I always thought a long time ago,
they could do something with he could do something with Mizdow and Axel.
Mm-hmm. Well, a few months ago, I wrote an article of tag teams I'd like to see formed. I thought him and Goldust would make a good tag team, but obviously Goldust is on the shelf, it sounds like.
Shoulder surgery.
Yeah, the old shoulder bug that's getting everybody lately. I thought they would be a good tag team. You know, just their personalities would mesh together.
Well, fun-loving would definitely work, because at this stage of his career, I don't buy him as the angry, unbeatable giant anymore, and I don't think anybody else does either. I think he's been overexposed as a whole, and I just don't think people buy into that side of him anymore. People have seen him often, it's kind of ruined, any potential of, believing that this guy, is is a badass. So yeah, a fun loving face would probably be best for him right now, and probably be a good reboot. They could bring him back. You don't need to explain why he's not with the Authority anymore. Because, I mean, honestly, they haven't mentioned him in the past month anyway. So I mean, you just bring him back to the TV, quietly have his exit from the Authority without really, shining a spotlight on it, and just, do something different with him.
My number 1, it took us all the way to number 1, but we finally got a match, and my number 1 is Cody Rhodes. Stardust was great with Goldust as kind of the answer to their tag team woes. That was great. Them together were great, but as a solo act, as you're right, it just is not working. It's not working to the fact that it's he's wrestling an unannounced match on the pre-show at Payback. So it's just not working at all. I thought his fit into the Intercontinental ladder match was weird. Just all the booking with him so far has been just weird, or something for him to do, or just no direction for him. He's young, still in his 20s. He's got a lot of talent. He can be a face. He can be a heel. He could lead a group of heels. He could lead a group of faces. Lead a group of heels to beat up some likable tag teams or something. Lead a group of faces, maybe take on the Authority, some stuff like that, just to give him a big reboot and make him more important, because he's got too much talent. He's too good of a commodity as a wrestler to not finally give him that push up the ladder. Matt, who do you got for number 1?
Number 1, I think it's honestly right now, I think WWE needs to strike while the iron is hot, and I think the reboot needs to go to Adam Rose. The sympathy card is out there for him right now. His life story is out there. That's something that they could play in the storylines, and people love getting behind, an underdog story, such as his. I think it would work really well. The guy's good in the ring. He's got a good look. He's okay on the mic. He's okay on the microphone, but I mean, we haven't really seen what type of promos he could cut outside of these characters. But hearing him speak on the E60 special says to me, like, this guy could be, a really good white meat babyface.
Mm-hmm.
They could make some. I think they could make some money off of this guy.
I listened to the Cheap Heat podcast from Grantland with Peter Rosenberg, and they said, hell, his real name is a good wrestling name as it is. Change him to Ray Lapon, have him cut a promo of his story to get the crowd on his side, and then have a heel that everybody hates, The Miz maybe or something, come out and go, oh, it's like, quit with that sob story.
Yeah,
we don't give
quit your crying.
Yeah, we don't give a shit, and that'd be a great way to get Adam Rose. I mean, you don't have to change his name to his real name, but because WWE doesn't like to do that anyways, they like to trademark and own you. So
I mean, he could keep the Adam Rose name.
Adam Rose. Yeah, Adam Rose.
But
is good.
I mean, just a reboot of Adam Rose and what he means as a character, I think could go a long way for him right now.
I mean, we're all rooting for him, and hopefully, at least he holds a white strap or a red, white, and blue strap by the end of the year.
I just watched him be a family man with his kids and everything. I don't buy the Adam Rose making out with Rosa Mendez in the back on SmackDown. No. It's a total disconnect for the viewer that just watched that special, and I think WWE, if they don't do something with him, I think they're completely missing a gigantic opportunity that this special provided them to do.
Yeah, that's definitely true. Let's take a U-turn back into the pay-per-view here of Payback from last night. We are now at the I Quit match between John Cena and Rusev, and
it's the only booking tonight that I hated.
Let's talk about this in two parts, Matt. First, let's talk about the first 15 minutes. A lot of people thought it was slow and boring and were tired of it. What did you think as you were in the crowd?
It was my main issue above all else is the referee asked them if they wanted to quit too many freaking times. Yes. Just shut up already. I don't think somebody being clotheslined or kicked down is worthwhile going down and asking if they quit. It was absolutely asinine how many times the referee asked that. And that was probably my main complaint about the beginning of the match, was just how much it was slowed down by the referee coming in and asking if one of these guys quit. I found that to be highly annoying, because these guys are in a war with each other. The stuff that these two have gone through, some of these dinky moves that you're asking if they quit off of, I'm like, really? It was insulting to my intelligence.
Yeah, that was the sentiment with a lot of people on Twitter. That was the sentiment with a lot of people on Twitter too, just saying this is ridiculous. Why are you asking them money? I even tweeted. I go, I hope the next time Kyoto puts a mic in front of somebody's face and asks them if they want to quit, they should say, "Blow me, Kyoto." But yeah, I agree. First off, it was a 26-minute match. The first 15 were slow and dragging on and asking them.
They could have cut some time off this match and given it to the tag match.
After asking them if they want to quit after every time the Pope farted or something. I mean, come on. Business did pick up once it got to the outside. There was a little bit of a botch where I don't know what happened, but like Cena was picking him up or Rusev was picking up Cena for the Alabama Slam, and then I don't know, he didn't quite. They let him go, and then they danced around for a little bit, and then Cena, I think it was supposed to be a reversal, and Cena just took forever to do it. And then when Cena put him up into the AA, they kicked the table over. It's like, oh, fuck. But then eventually that Alabama Slam spot happened there on the outside.
The one spot outside was actually done right in front of me when Cena tried to throw the blue crate at Rusev, and Rusev did like the jump kick over top of it.
Yeah.
And hit Cena with it. That literally was like, I was right in front of that in the crowd for that spot, so that was pretty freaking cool.
Oh, you got a good seat for that part of the match,
yes,
then.
Absolutely. Not so much for the stuff at the stage, but
then they got up to the stage, and I said on Twitter, either Rusev landed on a bunch of pyro or he had the extremely explosive burrito for dinner tonight. And we get back into the ring, and we get shades of Royal Rumble 2007 with Umaga and Cena, with the Rusev undoing the top rope there, and whatever his intentions were, it didn't matter because Cena reversed it into a STF while holding the ropes in there.
It looked like he just wanted to clobber him with it.
I wonder if, clobber him with the metal spike part of that.
Yeah, that's what it looked to me like he was going for. It looked like he wanted to take his head off with the ring post spike.
Now, before Lana came in and threw in the towel, basically, Rusev was yelling something in Bulgarian. I wonder if he was yelling, "I quit." It'd be interesting to see. Maybe we get that answered on Monday or something. What he was actually saying.
I don't. Honestly, if that's the case, somebody online probably would know that by now. So I'm sure there's Bulgarian fans that watch the product, so they would know what he was saying. But I had a major problem with the finish of this match because it's an I quit match. Whatever. If you pass out and you get rendered unconscious, you quit. And if the whole factor was the only way you lose is if you physically say the words, well, in that case, Seth didn't say them either. So this match still be going on because neither person actually said the words they quit.
A lot of people on Twitter said the same thing. That is odd booking and confusing booking because of that exact play out there where Cena passed out and they didn't disqualify him there, but Rusev didn't say I quit himself. So I was like,
so I mean, it was a really.
It was a point where I think the WWE was trying too hard to drive home the fact that they want Lana to turn face, that they didn't realize they were contradicting themselves between Cena passing out and Lana throwing in the towel.
Yeah, I really don't, man. I'm really curious how they're going to go about with this Lana face turn.
We're back. Yeah, I don't know. Well, whoever Rusev's next opponent's going to probably be, maybe that's going to be who she sides with. Or
my question is she ready to go in the ring?
She hasn't been practicing.
Are you sure? I mean,
from what I've heard. From what I heard, she hasn't been training.
If she hasn't been training, that's trouble. You're looking to give this girl a giant push, and she doesn't. She hasn't been working out in the performance center. I don't think that's a good idea.
I think she has worked out in the performance center before, but I think I've read somewhere where she is not currently training. So,
if that's the case, she better get her butt down in the performance center and start training, because I'm sorry, a face or a heel manager is only going to take you so far. This business in 2015, it's not going to work like it did in the 90s for like Sonny and Sable, and even Sable transitioned into a wrestler when they brought the division back and put the title on her. So, if they want to make her a big a deal as the internet is saying that they want to, this girl's going to have to learn to work. And maybe she already can, maybe she's great, and maybe we're all just going to be shit, she's amazing. But, I mean, we don't know yet. And, the unknown factor is the main question mark for me about what they're going to do for her going forward.
Yep, and we might get a new direction for that possibly here coming up on Monday Night Raw tonight. We go backstage. The New Day is celebrating drinking milk out of wine glasses. I thought that was pretty funny.
Freaking tastic.
Then Saxton gives them the news that they're going to defend their titles inside the Elimination Chamber, and Xavier Woods goes, "How's all three of us going to fit in that pod?"
The only thing I found that was ridiculous, was the fact that they claimed that they of course they knew that the Intercontinental title match was happening because they have the internet. Well, everybody that was talking about the Intercontinental Elimination Chamber in the exact same breath has mentioned that the tag titles were being defended as well. So, come on, guys.
Yeah. I don't know. I thought it was a funny line by Saxton at the end, though, when they were like basically going, "Why? How the hell can I do this?" And Saxton goes, "Well, it's a new day."
Oh man.
Divas action: Naomi and Tamina against the Bella Twins. I just couldn't get interested in this match at all. The heels went over surprisingly. You missed that one too. I thought did you pick the Bellas?
I picked Naomi and I picked Naomi and Snuka. I didn't want to. I went on record last week that I would be happy to be wrong if the Bellas, because I wanted the Bellas to win, but I didn't think they were going to, and they didn't. And, it's just, the match was fine. I thought the match was good. It wasn't great, but it wasn't bad either. I was happy that the rear view didn't finish the damn match because you know how I feel about that finisher.
I just couldn't get invested in any of it, so
because there was nothing on the line.
No,
and that's the problem. I mean, there was nothing to be invested in because there was nothing on the line. In my opinion, within the next year, and I'm talking like by May of 2016, once they bring all these girls up from NXT, and hopefully Lana's working and Eva Marie's back, and all that, and they've got this extensive, like, large, probably almost 20 plus diva roster, they need tag titles.
Yeah, that'd be great.
And it's the obvious easy answer for the first champions. You throw them on the Bellas because they are the made tag team to begin with.
Yep.
So when somebody beats them for those tag titles, it's gonna. So I would say between now and May of next year, I would like to see the women introduced, and I think it would help out the division tremendously because WWE's so obsessed with women's tag matches that I think adding a tag team titles for them would do wonders for that kind of stuff going forward.
That'd be great. It's just they're not committed to the divas that much on the main roster, so hopefully there is a change in thought, and where that happens, that'd be really good. Next match here was King Barrett against Neville. This one only went 7 minutes, not as good as some of their other matches. What did you think about the Barrett purposely getting counted out and then attacking Neville afterwards?
I loved it because it officially dubbed me Mr. Payback. And I high-fived the person that I was with. I'm like, I got him all right, because there's no way Seth Rollins is losing the title. And we high-fived, and it was a celebration for the ages. And then we got to see Neville hit the red arrow, and it was phenomenal. It was great. It was great.
Yeah, you're still gonna have one loss because we did do the pre-show tag team match.
Pre-show, pre-schmo doesn't count. Doesn't count.
You made a prediction, so it counts.
Wasn't part of the real show. Mr. Payback, baby. Hashtag Mr. Payback.
Fatal 4-way for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. Seth Rollins, Randy Orton, Dean Ambrose, Roman Reigns. Phenomenal match, if I may say so myself. A lot of interference by J&J and Kane.
I thought it was a little bit overbooked.
Yeah.
But the ending was. But it was great. It was the good kind of overbooked. Because at the end of the day, when the match was finished, nobody was hurt.
Yeah.
Out of this.
The overbooking took place in the middle of the match and not causing the outcome of the match, basically. What did you? Boy, the crowd sure popped for the Shield reunion, didn't they?
Oh, dude.
Those three beat down Orton to start off the little run there. Oh man. The internet went crazy. The arena went crazy. It was fun.
I think it was the happiest 60 seconds of wrestling fans' lives tonight. For that brief minute when the Shield was back together.
I called the triple powerbomb.
Yeah, we both called that last week. So
that was good.
Yeah, no, it was a great spot. The crowd loved it, and it just proved whenever WWE wants to pull the trigger on this. And put those guys back together, the crowd is going to eat it up.
It was great. Rollins trying to be the old sly dog he was, sticks his fist out, doing the old Shield celebration, and Ambrose and Reigns are laughing and laughing. All of a sudden, that smile went off of their face, and they did their own little double power bomb. Didn't quite break the table the first time, so the crowd said, "Hey, why don't you do it one more time?
One more time."
They listened, and this time the Spanish announce table did break. Phenomenal. Then, of course, Ambrose and Reigns get taken out, and then we get Randy Orton, big RKO chant from the crowd there. Then what I thought, there's a little bit of exchange, but in the end, just a lot of freaking great action towards the end, a lot of near falls, a lot of chaos that a Fatal 4-Way should bring you. And then Seth Rollins, is he going to be using the pedigree?
He very well might be. I hope he does a better one going forward, because that one was pretty sloppy, brother.
It looked sloppy, but when they did it on the slow motion replay, it looked a little better than when I watched it live. I did say, "Oh, that's a little bad" at first.
Because when he hit it, I was like, "Damn, that was a sloppy pedigree." And it was 1, 2, 3, and I'm like, "Oh, okay then."
Yeah, it was fun. It was hectic, and that's the way it's supposed to be, especially when you got J&J and Kane out there. So maybe we're not getting a Kane and Rollins match in 2 weeks.
Man, the verdict's definitely out on that now. I'm not nearly as confident in that match.
He was all in tonight.
Yeah, as I was 24 hours ago. They could still do it, but why did Kane go from not caring if he got fired and hoping Rollins loses his title at the beginning of the show to doing everything in his power to keep his job and keep the title on Rollins at the end of the show?
I got an idea. As director of operations, I am going to make the main event at Elimination Chamber Seth Rollins against me, because he's still director of operations now.
Yeah, he most certainly is.
Maybe that's why he helped Rollins tonight, to keep his job and be able to, if the Authority isn't there tomorrow, or they'll probably be there tomorrow. Well, Triple H will probably be there tomorrow. I mean, they've been off TV a lot lately, so who knows? It might, that if they're not there, they may not. Maybe the Authority may not be there the following week, right in between the pay-per-views, and where Kane could kind of use that power.
Do you realize we're in a two week like pay-per-view spiral right now? Because I didn't even realize it until they did the commercial for the Money in the Bank during the pay-per-view tonight, and it's June 14th.
Mm-hmm.
So we had Payback on the 17th. We've got Elimination Chamber on the 31st, and then 2 weeks later we've got Money in the Bank.
WWE is such a fan of the Lost In The Midcard podcast, where they realized that we're going to do every Thursday and then a special after every pay-per-view, so they decided to, let's just throw another pay-per-view in there. And so we want to hear these guys talk some more.
You know what? That makes perfect sense.
It does.
That's got to be what it is.
Makes complete sense. What do you think of Triple H passing the pedigree torch to Rollins? I kind of like it.
Forward, I think it's great. Because
what was that? You cut out there a little bit.
I said if it's his move going forward, I think it's great.
Yeah.
But I mean, if it was a one-time thing, it was kind of pointless. But I mean, if it's something that Triple H is truly passing the move on to Rollins to use going forward, I think it's a great thing, because it's an awesome move. And with Triple H not being a full-time performer right now, nobody else on the roster is using it. So
finishing moves get passed down all the time.
Exactly. So no, I mean, if it's his new finisher going forward, I think that's dope. And I'm all about it. Just he's got to learn to hit it better. That's all.
Last bit of business for tonight. First off, we'll put a bow on Payback here at the end and get Matt's final thoughts, as he was there live in Baltimore. But let's talk one more bit of business. This Wednesday is NXT Takeover, and we will probably cover our thoughts on that Takeover show for the Thursday podcast. We'll have to see what our scheduling is on recording for episode 16, so we'll stay tuned for that. But the big Unstoppable special is occurring this Wednesday. First off, so we're not really competitive on our predictions here. We're just going to give you our thoughts and how we think the matches are going to go. First off, Matt, we have Bayley and Charlotte against Emma and Dana Brooke. What do you think is going to go down there?
I feel like Charlotte's got to be going up to the main roster soon, right?
Mm-hmm. Gotta be.
So I feel like the best booking they could do would be to put Dana Brooke over Charlotte.
Yeah.
And
they might be teasing a Dana Brooke Charlotte feud before they put her up there. Maybe they kept Charlotte down just to get Dana Brooke over a little more, being the new diva, but who's done a pretty good job at being a good heel. So maybe they keeping Charlotte down there to do a program with Dana Brooke.
I mean, that's entirely possible. I feel like she's got to be next one up. So I feel like she should put some of the new crop over on her way, up to the main roster, and I think Dana Brooke would be a pretty good choice.
Yeah, I think that's going to be the obvious choice of Pearl winning there. I think we both agree here that Baron Corbin, Rhino's there to put Baron Corbin over tomorrow.
Unfortunately,
probably be a good match, and you don't usually
they fought each other in San Jose. I thought it was a solid match.
And they usually wrestle short matches, so this one will probably drag out a little longer to the 8-minute range or so. So I think we'll get a good, entertaining show, but Baron Corbin's got to win that one, I'm sure. The website still says Finn Balor, Hideo Itami, and Tyler Breeze for the number one contenders triple threat match.
It's just not. It's not happening.
We're gonna assume it's Tyler Breeze against Finn Balor. My gut feeling is Tyler Breeze and Kevin Owens are gonna have a mini program. They fight for the title in like 2 or 3 weeks, and then it's on to the next guy. That's just my gut right now.
I gotta go Finn Balor. I think Tyler Breeze would have been a lock-on win had they been able to switch the title back to Sami Zayn, but we still don't know the extent of his injury or how hurt he is, if he's hurt at all. So I don't foresee Breeze winning, but if Breeze does win, I think we're in for some crazy shenanigans in the main event.
Mm-hmm. NXT Tag Team Championship match between Blake and Murphy against Enzo and Cass. Is it me, or has it just been odd booking for Blake and Murphy since they've been champions? They were a great booking in the beginning as the underdog tag team champions, the happy-go-lucky guys, but ever since they've kind of turned heel, they haven't really competed. They're just more interested in Carmella than anything. It's just weird, and Amore and Cass are over more than anybody on that roster. So I think it's time for them to wear the championship straps.
I think it would be insane not to pull the trigger on Enzo and Cass right now. I feel like Blake and Murphy were a transitional champion to get the titles off of the Lucha Dragons because they were going to the main roster and put them, hold them for another face tag team. Because, Blake and Murphy just aren't a whole lot of anything. So, you might as well try to see what type of money you can make off Enzo and Cass. Put the tag titles on them, bring out some new merch for them,
yep.
and see where it goes from there.
NXT Women's Championship match: Sasha Banks against Becky Lynch. Becky Lynch has definitely impressed, as she has been. In the main event scene for the past several months. Matt, what do you think? How do you think that's going to go down here?
I don't know. You tell me what you think first.
Well, Becky Lynch has been a heel, and she still is kind of like a heel. She's in that tweener stage right now.
They tried to give her that babyface promo on the contract signing.
I think they're just unsure what to do with her right now, which makes me think, well, Sasha is established. They know where they're going with her. Becky Lynch will be an NXT Women's Champion sometime because she's phenomenal, great on the mic, everything, and fucking hot. I love that Irish accent. But I think they're just in such a state of what do we do with her right now that Sasha's going to win.
Yeah, you know what, it's I think if they were more confident in Becky Lynch's direction, I think it might have been a better chance that they could have done something to pull the trigger. But I think at the end of the day, if you're not bringing Sasha up yet, which obviously you haven't even brought up Charlotte yet, so obviously you're not bringing Sasha up yet. I think she deserves a longer reign with the championship, and I think Becky Lynch's day will come when they finally figure out, what it is that they truly want to do with her.
Mm-hmm. Then we get the NXT Championship match. Kevin Owens against Sami Zayn. My gut feeling is this is good to go. They did that weird edit on NXT last week.
That was hilarious.
What the fuck was that? There's your what the fuck moment. Making us... sometimes the WWE thinks we're stupid, but we're not. Man, that looked bad. Anyways, I think Zayn is fine. I still think it was a kayfabe. I still think it was a kayfabe injury. But God, I don't know. We're coming in under the guise that Zayn is injured. Are we going to get a repeat where Owens just beats the shit out of him to submission?
I think this match is going to be a lot more. I would believe this match will be a lot more closely contested. And honestly, it wouldn't hurt to have a no contest.
It wouldn't hurt to have Joe just beat the shit out of both of them.
That's what I'm saying, brother. I mean, honestly, as amazing as this show is probably going to be from top to bottom, let's be real. If 10 o'clock rolls around and the ticker hits the bottom for copyright 2015 and we don't get Samoa Joe, everybody's going to be disappointed.
Oh man!
Because everybody and their mother right now expects Samoa Joe on that event Wednesday night. So if he's not there, people are going to be bumming out.
There's a picture going around of a recent shot of Joe, and he looks fucking jacked.
Dude, I retweeted that a few days ago. Him with that medicine ball or whatever
he's ready.
Hell it was. Dude, he's skinnier than I've ever seen him look. And
he is cut.
I was just like, holy shit. Joe's ready to kill somebody again, brother.
Well, that's going to do it for episode 15 of Lost in the Midcard. As always, we thank you for tuning in, spreading the word. We always love hearing from you guys on Twitter and YouTube, and glad that you guys are enjoying the show. As we continue to make this grow, we give you a little bonus episode after the pay-per-view. We're going to be back with that 2 weeks from today with our Elimination Chamber thoughts as that card starts to shape up. Matt, before we go, give us your final thoughts from your attendance at Baltimore at Payback tonight.
I thought it was top to bottom was a really enjoyable show. I thought the crowd was really hot and into the show all night. Like I said, the only thing I really had an issue with was the booking of the Cena Rusev match. But other than that, I give the pay-per-view a thumbs up. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, it was solid from top to bottom. Second best pay-per-view of the year, in my opinion, outside of WrestleMania. And, it's going to be interesting to see where they go from here. I think Elimination Chamber is already going to be set up to be fun with Intercontinental title. Who knows what direction they go there. That's a good thing to, we don't know what's going to happen there. And I begged for it when it was announced, and I got my wish. Tag teams are going to be in the Elimination Chamber. That's going to be another new thing that's going to be, I think, a fun dynamic, and showcase some of the other teams, and show that the tag team division is finally there. Let's just hope they, keep on with it.
Yeah, I'm super interested to see who they put in both of those chambers, and hopefully we have some names to talk about this Thursday on Lost in the Midcard. Hopefully we get some answers over the next couple days of TV, that we start putting some puzzle pieces together about who's going where.
Yeah, with only two episodes of Raw, we're gonna probably get a very clear picture after Monday Night Raw tonight with what's gonna happen, leading us into Elimination Chamber in Corpus Christi. That'll do it for episode 15 of Lost in the Midcard. As always, you can find us on Facebook, facebook.com/Lost in the Midcard. I'd like to thank SpiderDuck.net for giving us the ability to be hosted on iTunes. Make sure you like us there, subscribe to us, comment, give us 5 stars. Let everybody know that you like the show. We're also on YouTube as well. All those links are on our Facebook page. Make sure you like the page. Come in, BS with us, and Matt is found on Twitter at RawFShowtime, and I am found on Twitter at JBHuskers. Make sure to stop in and say hi. I'd like to thank you for joining us for this special Payback edition of Lost in the Midcard, and we will catch you this Thursday.